It's Chris, and this is PMFM. This is going to be kind of a difficult video. All of the subjects that I talked about in the past have gotten worse. And yet, the thing I want to say at the beginning of this video is that I am happy. I am very happy. I am happier now than I was a year ago. That is absolutely true. I'm not teaching at Yelm anymore. When you are a first-year teacher, and in fact for your first 3 years, you are put onto a renewing contract. And so the administration of the school gets to decide at the end of each year, your first 3 years, if they want to renew you or not. So I've now had 1 year, and the school chose not to renew me. I don't want to go into much detail on that. What I will say is that I kind of left Yelm with a sour taste in my mouth that was mostly just to do with it's hard to leave a place where you've been told you're not good enough, feeling happy about it. I have spent this year not working as a substitute in Yelm, despite having that as an easy possibility for me, because I'm nervous about walking into a classroom with a bunch of my former students and having to be a guest teacher, not being the teacher. That would be humiliating, to be perfectly honest. However, I am currently applying for jobs in Yelm, and it wasn't a second thought. It was just, yeah, I would go back, absolutely. So I am working as a substitute teacher this year. I'm getting paid a lot less, so I'm having to be a lot more frugal. But I also have so much more free time to just do things that I want to do. I am cooking a lot because I come home and it's not 6 o'clock and I'm not exhausted. When I was working at Yelm, I had a pretty strict policy of not bringing my work home with me except for long breaks. Like winter break, 2 weeks off, I'm gonna bring some work home and grade some essays or something. But on a weekend, I would not do schoolwork, generally. I would be thinking about it, but schoolwork for me happened at school. And what that meant a lot of the time was that I would stay at school until 5 or 6 o'clock. Grading things, planning lessons, whatever I needed to do. I was there late, and I was often the last person there who was not, a custodian. This year, I have a lot more free time to do fun things, and that is really cool. I would much rather be working in a classroom of my own and making that sacrifice of not having a lot more free time, but I am enjoying having the free time. Something I didn't even realize I was getting myself into when I made the past video was that this is going to be my first public admission of being in an open relationship. I have come out to my parents, my siblings, and my closest friends, but not everyone knows. It's kind of an open secret. I'm nervous. This is a public thing. Employers could find out, and students could find out, and I don't know how people will react to it. But I think it's important. Let's make the first official mention of Donald Trump in these videos. In a time when our president is so unabashedly hateful in a lot of ways, I think it's really important to be honest about who I am, especially in the ways that I am different, the ways that I stand out. I think it's important not to be closeted. I spent a lot of last year struggling with the fact that it is very easy to be closeted as someone in an open relationship, and I don't want to hide it anymore. So this is the beginning of being a little bit more open about that. Lucien and I are broken up. We left on very good terms. He started dating somebody who was comfortable being in an open relationship with Lucien, but then they fell in love. And polyamory was not something that this other man was comfortable with. So they talked about it, and they decided that they would like to be monogamous with each other rather than break up. And so Lucien broke up with me. I'm okay with that. I'm very happy for him. This last year with him, because we lasted almost exactly a year, was fantastic. I was never able to give him the attention he deserves because I live with Lauren, and Lucien lives about a half hour's drive away. I only saw him about once a week, and so for him to now have somebody who can, it's worth it. He deserves that. I am struggling to remain his friend because I'm bad at that. I'm awful at staying in communication with people in general, but let alone exes. I'm struggling to maintain my relationships with my friends who live in Renton. You know, I moved away about a year and a half ago now, and I don't talk to them nearly enough. Lauren and I are currently, by accident monogamous. It's not like that's a decided thing. We are definitely still in an open relationship, but neither of us are dating anybody right now. I still live in the same house in Olympia. Lauren and I have talked. We are thinking about moving, but we both kind of need to be making more money. If I get a job as a teacher, that's a definite sign that we can move, but then, we need to find a time when we can. If I get hired before the end of the school year, we'll absolutely move over the summer. But if I get hired during the summer, that would make a move difficult. We both really want a dog. We really want a yard and a dog. That's the ideal, to be renting a house all on our own rather than renting the top floor of a house. But we've gotten so used to just living together and not having roommates. We're hesitant to rent a house where we would have to get roommates to afford the rent. I am still in love with Olympia, but it's more the love that you have with somebody after you've been with them for a while. I'm not infatuated with Olympia like I was when I made the last video, but I have a deeper appreciation for it. I'm starting to get to a point where I've realized that I have these regular things and they're cool and I want to keep them. But I also am exploring a little bit outside of Olympia, finding out what fun things there are to do in Tumwater and Lacey, and just the parts of Olympia that I don't go to. I live near the downtown area. I don't get to the east side or the west side very often, and there's things to be found out there. So, future me, what else has changed? Are you working somewhere now on a contract? Have you moved house? Are you dating anyone? Is Lauren dating anyone, really significant? And what do you think about Olympia? What have you discovered?